I prefer really not to speak. If I speak, I am in big trouble. In big trouble. And I don't want to be in big trouble.
Turn me up, kid, Spiral.
She knows about it. It wasn't too high. She just kind of,
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we're inside Mr. Sam Dania in the building. Just make sure that mic is close to you, because Simba was leaning back and people are going mad at me that he couldn't hear them. So just make sure the mic's, we're after been talking the last 40 minutes. We're after already doing fucking about 3 different podcasts already, but look, I'm sure we'll chop it up and have a good time. This is episode 8, season 5, if I speak. So we're nearly wrapped up this season. It's been hard fucking trying to schedule all this stuff, but look, we're here now. And I'm sure I'll have a good conversation with Broski. But before we get into it, bro, I know we've already asked each other what's up before the camera. What's the story? How have you been, man? How's your week been?
Alhamdulillah, bro. How's you?
Tired, bro. I'm tired, brother.
That's it.
I am working. Obviously, I'm marketing the live show as well. Yeah, man, just trying to get through fucking life, kids, fucking, just all this, bro. It's tiring, bro. But look, it's something that I've asked for. I want to be active. I want to be busy. You know what I mean? Like you, like probably yourself as well. When you're not busy and you're not active, you feel like I feel like personally, anyways, that I'm not doing that in my life. You know what I mean?
Like you're slacking
so I'm one of them. Yeah, I need to be on the go, but it's fucking tiring, brother.
It is. You do need the sleep and shit.
Yeah.
As long as you've got your sleep and your water, you're chilling, bro.
I love that, bro. Yeah, but look, this has been, a long time coming. I was initially gonna obviously get you on season 6, and I won't lie to you. Yeah, like I said, we talked earlier off camera. I'm all about being honest and obviously being truthful. Obviously I know you're always on the block, and we'll touch on the block as well. You're always in Brookfield and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? Because I always have this, like, this season I've had, like I said, right, my goal is gonna be get the creatives on, get the rappers on, get the artists on, get them all on, and then season 6. Bring the hood guys back on, the hood niggas back on, do you know what I mean? So I was looking at you more as a hood nigga, do you know what I mean? Like, right? No, I know you're an artist. But obviously, we've had problems before. This crazy guy, has approached you before, always hanging out me, you know what I mean? Like, but you know what? No, let's talk about it, right? You know, remember, we talked about it a little bit, yeah? No, but you know what? All I was saying was, you need to be more consistent. You're sick. I was like saying you were sick, and you caught chest.
You know what it is, yeah. You know what it is.
That was before you found Islam, yeah?
You know what it is, yeah? So I'm the type of nigga that, like, I wouldn't be used to people chatting about me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Even if it's in a critiquing kind of way. So, like, I'm chilling one of the days with a few of the boys or whatever. I'm chilling. And then if I speak or whatever, I mean, yo, did you hear Goody was talking about you, Dania? I'm like, what? I'm like, all right, well, and I'm listening to it, I'm watching it. And then I'm just hearing it, and I'm like, oh, he's not being consistent. And then the thing with humans, like, more time is when you hear something, you just be taking it as, oh, he's getting smart. You know, that sort of way.
No, not more humans. People from the block, we take as you're getting smart. It's
no,
not
but
humans.
more time, it wasn't even, in my head, I seen it as like, you don't know what's happening on this side. Like, you know, that sort of way.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, you don't know what's happening on this side. And like, I think I'm a sensitive nigga more time. So like at that time, I probably would have been way more sensitive, a bit more like just emotional.
Yeah.
So like, I seen it as a straight disrespect. I seen it as like, Goody's trying to like buzz off me. Like, it was crazy. I remember coming up to you and I was like, yo, what's the story with that?
Yeah.
Like,
What you talking about me on your podcast?
And then you were like, yeah, you explained it to me, and I was like, all right, well, don't be like, relax with that, yeah. You're like, yeah. The next week, there was an artist there.
No, because you know what?
I'm not gonna say his name. I was like, Goody.
See the thing with me, bro, yeah, and it's the proof because I know what type of guy you are. You're a stand-up guy, yeah. Like, probably one of the like. Where I'm gonna have a conversation, and we're gonna have a real conversation, and it's one of them. I'm trying to show you that I'm not a bitch. You know what I mean? Like you came up, I'm not. I know sometimes I do. You know what I do? I do portray sometimes. Yeah, I don't get slap. You know, it's part of my persona, it's part of the act. But it's like, no, I'm not. Because I was genuine. Because I went back on the video. Because I remember I screen recorded and I showed you. I was complimenting you. All I said was I need to see more from you. But then, like I said to you, being around these artists and talking to these artists and being in this thing, I get why now you're not. Even me myself. There's a reason why I'm not as consistent as the boys because I don't know how to edit. Sit up here, I chat me bollocks for an hour and I go home. You know what I mean? Like,
it wasn't even just that. It was more time. You were probably the first person that I've ever seen on camera just be like, yeah, Daniel's not doing it. What? What? Yeah. Before you know,
I get it. I get the shock factor now.
Before you know all the podcasters to say, yeah, story with this,
yeah,
you get me?
Yeah.
So in my head, I was just like, and because I do be seeing you, on it, like I do be seeing you some days. I'm like, why didn't you say this to me on why didn't you say
on road, yeah,
like,
yeah.
You get me?
No, but you know where that came from though? Just to finish on this, yeah. I remember because before I was doing this, I was doing the lives, so but rappers wouldn't come up. I remember I was meant to have a lot of rappers come up and do the lives. There was a lot of singers, and a lot of people doing gospel music, people with guitars, magicians, whatever, yeah. But then I was like, I wanted to rap, and you were on the block, and obviously Nate was like, "Yo, Daniel's a rapper," and I remember hearing you, so I remember texting you. And then you didn't text back, do you know what I mean? So I was just like, this guy, obviously he needs to work on, I said it to you off camera, the media stuff you need to work on to present yourself a bit more, do you know what I mean? Like, but now, where I'll go with, where what I was saying previously is like, we sat up here, and like I said, I was meant to get you on season 6. Remember, obviously, I keep seeing Dania on the block, he wants to come on, Dania, I have a plan for you, I'm gonna get you on with all the hood guys, but then Simba comes up here, and Simba's in our thing, for me, obviously, one of the best engineers, probably not, if not the best. All the best artists work with him. He's won plaques. He's won awards with Black and Irish, stuff like that. He's top. Like, I know his name carries a lot of weight. And I asked him a question: who's your top 3 artists in the country that you would like to work with, or your favorite artist? And he says you. Yeah, I'm just thinking, raw. Like, of all people, he could have gave me the usual, the cellos, the officers, the red tete, whatever. He says you, and he said no one else. No one else, bro. And I was just thinking, right, and it hit me. And then obviously, like I told you, again, another person hit me up the other day. Obviously asking me about the pod and stuff, and like names were mentioned. This is why I don't want to be mentioning names on podcasts anymore, because people are coming to me or whatever, but names are mentioned, not in a bad way. And I was like, and they want to come up on the podcast and obviously have a say, and whatever. I goes, yeah, look, I'll have Dania on the next episode, so we'll chop it up on probably episode 9 or whatever. And they were like, yeah, me too. I love Dania. I was like, shit, this nigga is getting all this love from these people, all these big artists and big engineers, but then obviously we're not seeing music, but obviously we're gonna get into that as to where you've been or whatever. But how does that make you feel that when you one of the best, like you know, at what he does is giving you them kind of props?
Oh, it makes me feel good. I was chuffed when I seen it. A few people like got onto me and they're like, "Oh, Simba and If I Speak." I wouldn't have been surprised like that, because me and Simba, we kind of know, like each other, we know the buzz really. When it comes to music or whatever, like Simba's been someone that like's been very, very important to my musical journey. Like he says
you have tracks on that laptop.
Yeah,
bro.
So we'd have like years of music in terms of like, he'd be the type that would let me know like, yo, that's shit, and I wouldn't take that as like, I'm like, yeah, you know, all right, no worries. Like, so like I would never take that from him. Me and him just have it's smooth. Like our music relationship is smooth, meaning that if me and him have a session, there's no issues. It's quick. It's precise. We're synced in. We're at a state of flow. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think that's why he'd see it as like, and over the years we've just kind of built that, like that type of musical relationship that we respect each other heavy, and we both like he would have met me at the start of everything. So like that's
what I'm saying. He carries that weight where he can't have that, like you said, like you don't let anyone just talk to you anyway, but. Like I said to him last time, if people like Simba have an opinion on something, they're gonna listen to him, because it is like he carries a lot of weight. All the best go to him. His work is fantastic. Do you know what I mean? That's why you kind of have that relationship with him. So yeah, that's great, bro. And how I start this podcast, bro, just to warm up a bit before we get into your story, because this is what I want to what I've incorporated in my podcast these days is going back to like how I started, where instead of just coming up rambling, ranting, whatever, I want to get the person's story, and obviously, hopefully, getting your story out that people will understand you a little bit better and buy into what you do and stuff in terms of your art. But before we get into that, we kind of touched on it downstairs. So it's what's the gigs, the topic of the week. Just to warm up a little bit. Obviously we touched on it a little bit. Obviously the young girl yesterday that got stabbed in the UK. Rest in peace. There's, like I said, I don't want to get into the internet conversation, because it's a big conversation. We'll be here all day, and I don't want me and you to say something and it gets taken out of context. You know what I mean? Because right now, obviously, rightly so, there's a lot of women who are angry at this. I just want to get your opinion on like we'll start off like this, and we'll walk around the conversation. I think you said it downstairs. Do you feel like, obviously, we don't really see that in Ireland like this, like to that level, but do you feel like it's our job as men to kind of like do better in holding each other accountable of violence against women? Because it's not enough that happens here.
Yeah, it would. It'd be like, I ffeel like it's. You see that whole topic? It's kind of like a tricky one.
Triggering, bro. So we have to. So I just wanted to go. Ooh, Jesus is Lord.
Everything G?
Everything all right?
Nah, it's chilling. I can see it. Yeah, it's fresh. It's just the monitor shook a little. It's all good. Is that a safe spot?
Sorry, lads. The blade monitor, that blade and fucking no man, I'm there like that. Is that all right? Yeah. Right, bless. Go ahead, bro.
It's a tricky one.
Yeah.
It's a very complicated and broad thing because you're talking about foundation, really.
Yeah.
So like, different people culturally, like they don't hold themselves accountable in a sense where like, different people have different interpretations of what it means to be a man or a real nigga, or like whatever it is. But like, we don't really let ourselves know because a lot of us aren't growing up with dads or nothing. Do you get me? A lot of us are only growing up with mas, emotional mas that don't show us how to like handle certain situations. Meaning that like, to a certain degree, a lot of niggas think like, oh, if a female buzzes off me in this way or in this way, sure, I can just da-da-da-da-da. You know, that sort of way. And a lot of niggas just genuinely don't have the type of self-control to deal with females. But like, it's not up to the females in a sense to be mad respectful or to be walking on eggshells. It's kind of like, are you strong enough to not let them trigger you, if that makes sense? Like in our description, like in Islam and all of that. Like,
yeah, I liked what you said downstairs. So repeat what you said. Yeah,
like, we believe that like being a man is just someone that is patient, especially with females, because we know how emotional females can be in a sense of like how they unpredictable or impulsive. Or we're just meant to be very, very, and in Islam, it's deep with us. That's where I learned that type of concept in a sense where like we believe the Prophet, peace be upon him, never raised his voice like higher than any of his was. Like we believe that like you're meant to be soft and gentle, and your wife is like a rib, and she's curved, and you're not meant to straighten it. You're meant to, your wife's not, or a female isn't meant to be exactly the way you want her, but guided in a sense. So like we've a lot of men that just don't know how to be men, if that makes sense. They don't know that it's not female's responsibility for you not to get triggered. And I'm only learning it too in a sense. All of us. So like when you're seeing situations where niggas are having, like people are having certain situations and they're losing it at females, doesn't even really surprise. I know it's mad to say, but we're in such a dark world that it doesn't even really surprise me these days anymore. A lot of niggas are rolling around on survival mode, meaning that their mindsets are just aggression because maybe of their situations or their environment. A lot of people have switches on for just aggression, and then the females in their lives press a button and boom. Do you know that sort of way?
I hear what you're saying, but this, you have to understand as well, this is a 17-year-old kid that has committed this murder. And it's like you said, yeah, I hear the whole, you know, and you have to look at the, I don't want to say, like, obviously, look, there's crazy people everywhere, but look, it's our neighbours and it's London. And I think I touched on it downstairs as well. I'm a victim of that life, if I can say, like, where I've lost family members through violence of that type of life from the gang life or whatever, if I can say, yeah. Because initially the guy apparently was obviously, the girl that died, unfortunately, was jumped in front of the guy's ex-girlfriend. He was meant to give her flowers already. But then he's on that bus carrying it like it was deemed to be a machete, bro. I'm just thinking in my head, like 17-year-old on a school bus with me. It's just not sitting well with me, bro, in a sense. Like, we're having the conversation. Obviously, there's a lot of anger, yeah? And even in Dublin, and before I say, not Dublin, but in Ireland, and before I even go ahead, because I know what the narrative would be, sitting up there, I think he's an angel, critiquing. And there's things I've had to work on, and even till this day, where you talk about being triggered. I'm probably the most triggered person you can ever meet. You know what I mean? And in the past, I've had not so good control aggression, you know what I mean? And which I'm learning is like, that's not the way to go, because obviously then I have a young daughter, I have mothers, I have sisters, I have friends. And I wouldn't want, like, if a man was raising, like you said, raising his voice and because I lose my rag like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, but I'd never go to the realms where like I'm really killing my partner or whatever. That's just not gonna happen. Do you know what I mean? But whose job do you feel it is to, you know, kind of teach these young men? So should we are we doing enough or are we not? Because like I said, Congo Boy, fair play. I've mentioned Congo Boy too many times on this podcast this season, but him, to be fair to him, week after week after week, even on one of my lives I did one time, he came up and said, look, there's a lot of men in Dublin beating up their wives and girlfriends, no one's talking about it. You know what I mean? And obviously on one day, then when someone dies, then we're going to, we should have done more. What can we do now as men, if anything, to kind of like, do we check the man them? Do we call out one part? What is it that we can do to kind of stop this bullshit, bro?
More time it's just friends. It's friends, you know what I mean? So like, it's whoever your friends are. So like, if you're in
if your boy was like that, like, you know, he's a fucking, let's call it what it is, like a woman beater, aggressive, whatever, or he's beating on. What are you doing in that situation?
Like, we're different. So like, if one of the boys was doing that, we'd kind of make it quite known to him. Like, it wouldn't just be me. It'd be a group of us that kind of be like, yo, bro, like, relax with that, if that makes sense. Like, we'd put him on game. And if he didn't want to listen, like, can't be chilling around, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, facts.
If he didn't want to listen, then it's a situation, really, because what your friends are an extension of you, if that makes sense. So whatever your friends are doing, you can't always have plausible deniability. Sometimes, like you're enabling just by even knowing about it and just being like,
Yeah.
So like, more time, I'm very like blessed to have niggas around me that like, they check me if I was moving stupid. You know, that sort of way. They tell me if I was moving like aggressive or stupid, they'd like, yo, Sam, what are you doing, bro? Like, you're moving a bit mad, bro. You know, that sort of way. So like, it's all about your mates. And if you have a mate that's willing to tell you that, like, yo, you're taking the piss, bro, you will snap out of it. There's been a lot of times that I've felt in my head that like not in this type of situation, but just in general in life, that I felt like, yeah, I'm meant to snap. You know, that sort of way. And my mates would be like, no, like, what do you? And I'd actually be like, yeah. You know, so it's our love. When people correct you out with love, it's very different. You have to check yourself.
Yeah.
You'd have to be a dumb nigga for your mate to be like, yo, bro, I love you, but you're moving a bit weird.
Yeah.
How can't you take that?
Yeah,
You know,
100%. That's like, we live in a crazy time now, because like this only happened yesterday, where it's like, obviously I'm scrolling through the TL as I do, and I'm seeing like a girl that's meant to be going to school, like you know, and being buried. It's like, and obviously being a father myself, it's just heartbreaking, bro. Like, we live in a world that it's happening like that. It's like, especially like, obviously, like I said, UK, I'm a victim of you know, something like that as well, where I once woke up to family members dying through gang violence or aggression or whatever, and it's like, it's a sad time, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
I won't lie, it's kind of like, I feel I don't even like kind of like focusing on situations like them too much, because I feel like the internet's just a swarm of trenders. Like, do you get me? So like, there's been worse situations where like, don't get like, not that I'm not being empathetic or whatever, but I feel like the internet picks and chooses.
no, that's where I don't want to go. Yeah, that's where I don't want to go, because obviously, like I said, there's a lot of discourse and conversation, and it's a bit mad right now. But I'm like we were talking downstairs, don't want to name any names. Like, just let that fly through, because you say anything now, it'll go a bit crazy. But yeah, I know that. Just, and like I said, rest in peace to that girl, and may God guide that family. Another thing I wanted to talk about on Almost the Gig was, bro, did you see that Gymnast Ireland situation?
Gymnast?
Yeah, Gymnastics Ireland situation.
No.
So obviously, I don't know if what.
Sounds like it's gonna be funny, bro.
No, it's not actually not gonna be funny. It's not funny, bro. Hey, but you may laugh, I don't know.
Right,
but it's like,
did someone die?
No one died. It's like, obviously, a group of young girls, probably 9, 10, they're getting handed out medals. I think it was participation medals, and the official that's handing out the medals, right? So she hands it to the first two girls, because I rewatched the video, because I read the statement as well, so I get my facts right. Skips the little black girl who was about 4th or 5th in the queue, gives the rest of the girls their medals, and then...
Where was this?
This was in, I think, from a gymnast, or probably Blanchardstown, if I'm not mistaken, yeah?
Damn.
And obviously, that was last year, but the video resurfaced this year, and there was absolutely murder over it.
What, you skipped her?
She skipped her, bro. And obviously, people are crying, obviously, saying...
She was giving niggas medals.
Let me get it off here. Let me show you. Let me get it off here, bro.
She was giving niggas medals, and
she skipped the black girl, yeah.
And she deserved the medal.
Yeah, because I think it was a participation medal, bro. She skipped that, and then obviously she's saying stuff like, I didn't see her, this, that, and that, blah, blah.
She said I didn't see her.
Yeah, bro.
She violated.
Yeah, facts, innit?
Because even the cameraman's like trying to chat to her, like, you're good, you know what I mean? But like, yeah, and is that like a big thing right now?
Big thing right now, bro. Yeah, people are snapping, and it's like fucking.
Don't get me wrong. That's a big thing to be like. No, I feel like us as a whole, I feel like we're too focused on negatives, meaning that like we're so focused on any little bit of racism that we're forgetting how much opportunity we also have. It's almost like that glass half full, half empty kind of thing.
I'm with you,
Yeah,
and I completely. Even like I said, I came into this game. We talked about me being in season 1, racism this and black party this and Fabu. Look, what you doing? Do you know what I mean? Like you have a platform now, use it to change your life and open doors to other people.
Yeah.
But in this instance, bro, it's a fucking kid.
Do you know what it is?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why. Sorry, bro. I just need to get this in. It's a kid. That's why people. For me, I mean, bro, I said it. I've said it many times. I've stopped being a freedom fighter because number one, we don't even like each other, bro.
Do you know what it is?
Do you know what I mean? We don't even like each other. So why am I out fighting for people?
Do you know what it is? More
you know what I
time, yeah, it's about intention.
Yeah.
So everything's about intention to me. So like,
Yeah.
if like I'm just noticing in Ireland, like the black community, we're acting as if like, don't get me wrong, like I've seen so many black people like tell me, or like in general, just conversations, and I'm like, oh, Ireland's dusty, man. Don't even want to be here, man. Like, fuck Ireland, or like these people, man. I'm leaving here as soon as possible. And I'm looking at them like, do you know how happy your mum was or your dad was when they got here? Like, maybe you haven't been back home in a minute, but it's a bit heavy, bro. Like €1 is 800 naira in my country right now. Like it costs bread, like just for a loaf of bread. Do you know that sort of way? So like, I'm looking at them, and just because you are fortunate, there's a difference between finding it and seeing injustice and fighting it, good cause, good intention, and then there's a difference between just sitting back because you're so comfortable that you have the eyes to be seeing so much rubbish all the time. Only someone who thinks about rubbish will see it everywhere they go. Meaning that like, if you've a positive outlook as to where, only someone who's not that happy as to where they are will find a problem with everything around them. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, if you're someone who grew up in Dublin and you have a problem about you're acting as if Dublin, I'm not gonna lie to you, Dublin's a very foreign friendly place. That's where our parents came here, bro. It's not like there's worse, bro. Like Gara aren't on me because I'm black. Like Gara aren't on people in general. Like, this country is like anywhere else, definitely racist at times. But it's not the type of place.
I'm glad, yeah.
It's not the type of place that you feel like targeted because you're black. Nah. So like, when I see a lot of black people, like when things happen, I'm like, I feel you 100%, but just make sure your intentions are clear. Make sure you're not trying to be the next Martin Luther King for a selfish reason. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Make sure you're not trying to build a career off the backs of
I won't lie.
You understand?
I'll be so real with you. Like I said, when I came in here season 1, I was trying to be like, I watched too much Malcolm X films and documentaries, and I was doing the freedom fighter thing. But where I felt, it was just like, it's clear what you're doing. Do you know what I mean? And he just thought he's got away with it. Rose, he does more than now. He's issuing out apologies, blah blah blah. But my thing is just like, bro, it's like, obviously I have children, yeah, and one thing about Irish people, they always say, what I learned, it wasn't so much as African. Say, for instance, right, my ma come home, she bought ice cream for, say, Brianna, but she won't buy it for Jess, and that's just normal, whatever. But in a white household, that's not gonna run. If you're buying for Vinay, you're buying for whoever, do you know what I mean? Like, 100%. So it's like, it's a participation thing, you're handing out medals, give the girl the medal. You're standing right in front of her, give her the fucking medal. Do you know what I mean? Like, fly out, give her the medal.
Do you know where
don't be doing that.
My argument
because what else is that? Do you know what I mean?
My argument would be, if they're not giving, if the girl that wasn't given the medal, she would have probably seen it as, oh, they didn't give me a medal, bit weird, supposed to get my medal, and she probably just.
She looked shy though. She did look like, oh, what's going on? When again? It's her face, man, that really got me. Do you know what I mean?
But like, more time, it's the sympathy thing. I feel like us black people in Dublin especially, we like being victims. Meaning we love when we're victims. We love when we're in the victim seat. We like it. It's like we see our counterparts in England and America, and we're like, nah, we want to feel a bit of that. We want to go on our marches. We want to feel like victims. But the thing is, for niggas like me, that's a bit weird because I don't like being a victim, bro. Who would want to be a victim? I know that there's black people or foreigners in general, just like me and you, sitting in the gaps thinking, right, what did these white people do wrong? They're on the internet, yeah. Bro, they'd see that situation with that kid and love it. Not because they wouldn't see, it's just that hate, that anger in their heart. They need somewhere to exercise it. So they pick those things. Do you get me? So like, more time, they are issues, but are they issues that should define what's happening? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, bro, but it's like I'll go back to it again, bro. It's cause the fact of like, it's a child, bro. Do you know what I mean? It's
a child,
and it's blatant as well what they're doing. It's the whole. If it was a genuine mistake, fair enough. Like I get everything that you're saying, the whole victim thing, and I agree with it to an extent. But it's like the fact that it's a kid, bro. It's like, bro, just give the medal. Do you know what I mean? And the half-assed apology, and only apologizing now. And like I said already on my Instagram, I'm trying to find the girl, and I think someone else is trying to find the family. I think someone else put it up as well yesterday, tagged Black and Irish and stuff like that. Just to do something nice and make the girl feel special around the Christmas time and all that. So if you can find her, I'll try to reach out to the family, shout me please, and we'll fucking, get her something nice for the old Christmas and make her feel special. But yeah, that's what's the gig this week. I know we're going to be probably Twitter topics next week, but hopefully in good light, people understand where we're coming from. But we're trying to get into you. Before I get into you, your story, bro, it's like, I want to give you your flowers, bro. So a couple of weeks ago, obviously, I'm on the Arsenal group chat. And my brother was like, because one of the man went back to, he lives in McWilliam, went to Brooker to get free ice cream, yeah? And I was like, I was there today, I was like, what was the gig with that actually? Like, what was, apparently you rented out an ice cream van for the block. Like I was calling you earlier, adopted son of Brookfield. So what was the idea around that? You did a music video or something, was it, yeah?
So I have this music video coming out called Gara.
Yeah.
So like, my little brother, like, as everyone knows, he was heavily affiliated in Tallaght. So like, he was the first person that I heard the word Gara come from. And Gara kind of means
guarantee.
Gara.
Yeah.
So in my head, that was the first time I heard it, and I've always been someone that was kind of affiliated with Brookview in a sense. So I made a song that kind of was for Tallaght because of my little brother and him dying, passing away, whatever. So I made that, and I decided to do it in Brookview. So we're doing the video or whatever, and then like one of the boys was like, oh, he can get an ice cream. He knows the ice cream man or whatever, and he can get him da-da-da-da. So I'm like, yeah, 100%, let's do it or whatever. So I'm in the ice cream van we're doing whatever. And then one of my mates just go, yo, free ice cream for everybody. So I looked at him, I was like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, free ice cream for everybody. But I says to him, I was like, yo, listen, yeah, make sure you're on the ball. Make sure you're making sure niggas are rolling through twice and shit. You know what I'm saying? This is Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? But more time, it was really just because I was doing a music video on their estate. Yeah. So it was kind of like a way of like appreciating them.
Just showing love to them. Yeah, no, I appreciate that because like I said, I see you there from time to time. And we chop it up, you have to laugh. I remember one day I seen you, you and do you remember, what's the young fella's name? Yeah, doing the walkout. I was just recording. I was like, this road is not real, man. It's actually.
I was trying to be a little PT.
Yeah.
I was getting the boys on fitness.
Yeah, but originally, obviously, you touched on it a little bit. So I always go back to the start to meet the man today. So originally, where did you grow up originally? When you obviously Rathfarnham. Yeah. So what was that like growing up as a young man up in Rathfarnham?
Fresh.
What was that like?
For me, it was Rathfarnham wouldn't have been an area that had like much black people. Like Tallaght, if that makes sense. It's basically a posh area with just a few council estates in it. So like. Okay. It was good for me because it made me not conform to one type of identity. I was used to being around either posh people or like so-called common people or whatever it was. So Rathfarnham, I never had to be paranoid of anyone bullying me. The environment wasn't hostile, so for me it was perfect.
Where I make that face a little bit, you're looking at me, it's like the character you are today, bro. Yeah, you grew up in a posh area.
I wouldn't say the estate would be posh, but the area would be, yeah.
So, but how did because obviously, what shaped you to be the way you were? Was it just life in general, or was it the area, or was it school, or what?
So, like more time, my estate wouldn't be posh at all.
Okay.
The surroundings.
Okay. I'm with you now.
That makes sense.
I'm with you now. Yeah.
And there's a few estates like Hillview, Whitechurch, like that. They wouldn't be posh. They wouldn't be the roughest or nothing, but they wouldn't be posh at all. If that makes sense. So like, I was just always someone that kind of just always like was in Dublin in a way. I was kind of like always had mates that were not always from my estate. So like would be in a bit towards like rap minds or like Tala or whatever. So like most of my mates and like my surroundings kind of like I don't think I could have been posh even if I wanted to. If that makes sense. Sort of way.
Stop. Well, I want to ask you, so did you see with school? Yeah, what was Daniel like in school?
School, I wasn't really like. It depends from what age you're thinking of, but like.
So from say sixth class up to like secondary school.
Yeah, so from like sixth class, I wouldn't have been on it till like second year. It's when I got sent to Nigeria for like 4 years. That's when I kind of like. I was into school and shit to get back, obviously. So like that Nigeria. So from the ages of like 13 to like 17.
Talk to me about that, bro. Because like I said, with myself, obviously I've been in Ireland since I was 4 years of age. And like obviously that's all I know. I don't know. Like
you haven't been back.
I haven't been back yet, bro.
Ever.
Shocking. I haven't been back. I keep saying, yeah, damn is right. But no, there's a time where I will go back. I need to go back just to see the people. Feel the emotion, because with me, I like just being inspired.
You on your story, Mondele this, Mondele that.
I love it. Yeah, man. These Mundeles, man. Sometimes I want to slap them, man. But nah, talking about what was that like, bro? Going up there in Nigeria, man.
I got tricked heavy, man.
Yeah.
Because I was a bold kid.
Yeah.
Like I got tricked. Like my mum told me I was going Britain's Got Talent.
We'll get into, because there's probably a reason why she did that. Did she already know you were artistic? Was it?
I still have PTSD.
Yeah, did she know you were artistic? Is that what she said? Okay, we'll get into that. But what you land there now? PTSD.
Yo, she told me I was going Britain's Got Talent audition in Gambia. So I can't remember what the buzz was. I was thinking, in my head, I'm thinking, yo, I'm going to go get a few quid.
Yeah. As a 13-year-old.
Yeah. So I was telling people in my state and all that, yo, listen. I'm just going to go get a few quid off this Britain's Got Talent and I'll be back.
Yeah. You went for 4 years.
Oh, man, I stuck for long. Yeah. I'm there telling them, yo, listen, boys, I'm going to be back soon. I just need to go on this Britain's Got Talent yoke with my mark real quick, go make some bread, and I'll be back. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the next thing we get there, and my mom's telling me, oh, my little brother's coming, my cousin Melenic's coming, all of that. And then we just get there. And she's like, yeah, you're staying here. I was like, what you mean I'm staying here? And she was like, nah, you're staying in Nigeria. Like, because I thought, she told me there's a transit to like where we're meant to be going. Don't know why I believed it. She's like, you're staying here. And I was about to start getting smart and all, what you mean? And then I just looked around. And I remember like my older brother telling me like, you can't be getting smart with your parents in Nigeria and all, you get slaps and all that. So I just started crying. I was like, yo, mum, like, what are you doing? Like, I'm your son. Like, I was like, you're not leaving me hardly.
Yeah.
And then my mum was just on it. And she's the type of person that, like, she says she's doing something, she's doing it.
She's doing it, yeah.
So I had to just firm it. Next day, I'm in boarding school over there for, like, the next 4 years. So, like, it was one of them. At the start, it was heavy for me, at the start. Then I just started to actually, it was good for me. It was good for me to kind of, like, it was good for my identity. And it was over there I decided that, like, I'm going to start rapping properly.
That's where I'm going now.
In a Dublin accent.
Yeah, that's where I'm going now, trying to figure you out a little bit. It's like, you said your mom obviously was telling you about Britain's Got Talent. Obviously, she knew kind of you were artistic. Yeah,
always.
So when was the kind of like the first time like you were like kind of like rap? Because I don't know who told me they were writing poems. I think it was probably Celine. They used to write poems first. So were you writing or did you hear or what was it for you? How were you introduced into music?
Introduced to music?
Yeah. I was introduced into music.
So back in the day, like I would have probably been introduced to music through like Snoop Dogg and all of them. Like seeing them on like TV
MTV
back in the day.
Stuff,
that would have been my like first introduction.
Yeah.
And then me and my like brothers used to like all have rap battles in the sitting room. So like my older brother used to get tracks that we didn't know of and just spit their raps. And then we used to just freestyle, but we used to think he was sick, me and my little brother, not knowing that he was robbing lyrics off tracks that we just didn't know of.
Okay.
So that was a big thing for me because I used to think, oh, my older brother's sick.
My older brother's class.
And then that kind of sparked a thing. But I wasn't good then. I wouldn't, but I had a big interest in music. It would have only been when I went to Nigeria that I actually got the talent for music.
And how did you get the talent from Nigeria? What was, did you do music over there or
because
someone nurtured you or what?
Not even. I feel like around the time I was in Nigeria was the growth of Afrobeat was in its infant stages when I was there. Meaning that the first time like Burna Boy would have dropped a song, I was over there.
Okay.
So like the first time, like the whole progression of Afrobeat was very heightened in Nigeria at that time. Meaning that like, so KC was coming out with Limpopo, like there was Shocky was rolling around. So like everything was, Nigeria was starting to have a very big identity and signature in music. So that kind of made me, at the time, because I'm in boarding school then, I was just soaking everything up in a sense. So like I was watching like all of them just drop, and the music in Nigeria was just so, it was very, the whole scene, you feel it. Like they love music down there. They love it. The music's coming out of every street. So like that really just sparked it. I used to like rapping like, I used to rap in Nigerian accents with them because they wouldn't understand my accent anyway.
Yeah.
So I used to do it and I used to try like rapping pidgin with them and all and buzz off them and shit. But when I seen them saying, "Oh Sam, you're sick," that's when I knew, oh yeah, when I get back to Dublin, I'm gonna.
I have 2 questions to ask you. I'll ask you the second one in a minute because it's pivoting a little bit. See the way you've named all these artists, yeah? You haven't really named a rapper. How come you didn't do Afro beats then? If that was what you were seeing at first time.
No, because more time, the same time there was an emergence of like of Afrobeat, like heavy in Nigeria. There was also a lot of rap influences in Nigeria too. So there would have been Lil Cash or Lamy. They would have just been moving around that time, and they were all coming off the vibe of Da Green, who was like a very like kind of street rapper in Nigeria. So like a lot of them over in Nigeria rapped, like meaning that, and it wasn't just. And then in England you had like the Chipmunk, like in Stormzy, and Bugsy thing. So like there was a lot of rap influence, and I was always a rap person, if that made sense.
Yeah.
But I loved music in general, but it just helped me kind of know that, when I get back, it's the buzz I need to be on.
Yeah, grand, I hear that. And what I wanted to ask you, just to pivot a little bit, like I said, this podcast will be just structure, but then it just goes all over the gaff. But are you following the Mobad and Naira situation? What's your, obviously I touched on it a little bit with Simba, but obviously every day you're getting new stories. And yesterday, I think Naira did an interview with someone. Obviously the guy asked him, this is what I remember from the question, is like, would you go back to face police questioning if you were to, like, you know, police wanted you for questioning? He's like, yeah, if you can guarantee my safety, I'll go back and all. Yeah, I'll fly out. If I was him, he's not making it back out if he goes back there. Fly out. What do you think of that whole situation? Have you been following it?
The thing, I've been following. The thing with like that particular situation is like Nigeria. When it comes to Nigeria, you kind of have to be a bit careful in terms of like how you respond to situations going on there, because it's not the same rules. Meaning that like you don't really know what's happening. Like, you know, everyone's saying this and everyone's saying that. But Nigeria is a very different type of place. Bro.
It's corrupt.
It's not even just on a corrupt thing. It's a place where your senses are heightened. Do you ever get when you go to a place and you can just feel your ears are working better, your eyes are where you feel, I need to be on the ball.
Why I say that before people attack me, herself's Nigerian, you know, Amy, she's Nigerian. She always tells me, look, it's a lawless country. Like,
it's not even like, She says
it's a lawless country. Stuff like this is regular.
It's one of them where like, a situation like Mobad, it's very unfortunate, but like, as a Nigerian, all Nigerians kind of know that like, it's something that you just don't really know. Like you can't go too deep into it. There's too many question marks. And Nigerians love this mad, like, oh, they use him for blah, 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 witchcraft, juju. Like, so like, you can't really, all you can do is look at it for face value and just be like, oh, it's a sad thing to hear. Do I think like, oh, niggas would kill them? And I don't. That's the problem with us Nigerians. We talk too much. You get me? I don't know. Like we don't know. Nobody knows. So the best you can do is just be like, that's very sad what happened. But the amount of evidence that's pointing at your man Naira Marley it's crazy. But I wouldn't be the type to like be deep. I don't like hearing negative shit from our people, man.
Yeah, no, we don't want it. Look, I was just gonna say to you as well, right? You know, you're an artist, right? And even me, look, obviously I love football and stuff. Yeah, when you're seeing like black people successful, I'm always like, look, maybe it's easy sitting here saying this, but bro, can you just focus on your art and stay out of trouble? It's like you see, obviously, Young Thug now, he's locked up, obviously, with the situation that's going on. Fella has a Rico on his ass, yeah? Then you see, obviously, Naira, so talented, has the world at his feet, being involved in shit like that. Like, as an artist, look, like you looking at that, is it, am I being a bit harsh saying that, like, you know,
I would
you're not in their shoes, you don't know what's going on around them, you know what I mean? Like, money involved.
Do you know what it is, So more time, you should actually understand, because you're in the same realm. So like when you're
I wouldn't say out loud. That's what I just be thinking in my head.
100.
No, like Thug, like why you're facing 40 to life.
When you're doing entertainment, there's a you before the entertainment.
Okay.
Meaning that, like, if you're someone that's going through certain issues, like, so you're mentioning Young Tug, for example.
Yeah.
This is someone who's been involved in, like a hypothetical sense. Let's look at a hypothetical situation.
Okay.
There's a kid called Brandon. And Brandon is someone who's been involved in street life because that's all he really knows. His uncles do it. His older cousin had him grafting since he's like 13, 14. And he has a talent for it. He's actually good at grafting. He's good at violence. He's good at all of the things that type of life expects you to do. And then he finds out that he's a genuine love for music. Brandon now has to dive into music. And let's say he has success in it. And he blows up. You're looking at Brandon, who's dealt and learned so many bad habits, and you're giving him millions of quid. Do you get me? Someone that has still not healed from what they've been through. Someone that is still affiliated to bits. Someone that does not have emotional intelligence yet, isn't properly mature yet. To give someone that much, like, blessing or power, it's a test for anyone. Never mind someone who's coming from a dysfunctional background. Do you understand what I'm saying? So most of these rappers are coming from very dysfunctional backgrounds, and then they're given loads of money, fame, and everything. And then what all of that does is it inflates whatever dysfunctional person they were before. So bread makes you, just inflates.
It's like they say, like, money doesn't change. It just shows you really are stuff type of way.
But in this case, they just never got enough time to probably grow before they got the bread.
Okay, I understand.
If that makes sense. So you could see a rapper now that's coming from that lifestyle, and he has beef with this person or problems with this person. And then you whack a load of money on his feet, tell him to drop an album. While he's dropping this album,
he's dealing with shit.
He's probably dealing with issues.
Pop Smoke.
So like he's dealing.
That one.
I mean? So he's dealing with issues in a sense where that's why a lot of these rappers would make legit money, and you see them dropping money for their mates to go buy guns and all. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's something that's just it's you have to unlearn it. And then who you're around too. So if you're around a load of people that are still stuck in a lifestyle and you're not strong enough to be an individual, then it's gonna spill in. And that's why you see a load of rappers like that are into music and they're getting success from it, but they're still in that pond. They're not able to get out of it because their mind's stuck there. There's so many people leaving the Tala that we're in right now that would never leave Tala. They'd see going into town as a day out. Like we're going out. Do you know, that sort of way? It's not just the rappers, it's everyone. Everyone's really stuck in their bubbles. So if you gave anyone $1 million, imagine that. That's why I see a lot of people be like, oh, McGregor this and McGregor that. No, you gave a fella from Crumlin millions of quid.
I wanted to touch on that. We're gonna have a McGregor section. You know, so I don't know if you remember the day me and you and Blair had this conversation. I think you were kind of. You remember? Do you remember we had a deep meet? I think John as well. We had a deep conversation about McGregor. I think you were kind of sticking up for him as well, and which I get to an extent as well because he's very inspiring. That documentary I was watching it the other day. I watched it like 7 or 8 times. Just like. Do you know what? I'm looking at him now. Even the other day, the fella had Snoop Dogg and Crumlin, for fuck's sake. Obi Choice. At the foot, that's down the road, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, do you know what? Let McGregor land, man. Let him land. But
me and the boys were laughing.
Me
and the boys were laughing. He put up a pic on his Instagram with a joint.
Joint down his mouth.
Like on the way to Snoop.
At the top of it all. Oh, he's a madman. But let's just pivot back a little bit again, just to get into you and the music and stuff. I want to talk about the scene and the music with yourself. So obviously, like I said before, I asked, I was like, right, boom, obviously not consistent, blah blah blah. Where did you feel? Obviously, off camera we're talking about Jafaris as well, and you said like the break was good for him, yeah. So where have you been like musically in your journey? Like I said, your tape you dropped in 2019. You've had songs with Zeno. You've had like your songs here and there. Where are you at musically now? What space are you in now with music?
Musically, I'm good. Like meaning that like I'm just kind of living in a sense. Like I'm just trying to. I'm kind of like I'm understanding myself.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And like. I don't even know how to explain it, but like, I feel a lot of people like that's why they run out of juice, is because they don't know how to deal with situations, and actually like channel it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Their life just becomes just music. You know, that sort of way. With me at the moment, I've grown a lot since the last song I dropped. A lot's happened. You know, that sort of way. Like I do be dealing with like real life situations that you just need to take it in first before you. Do you know that sort of way? But I've got a lot of music that I've been making in the process of certain things I've been dealing with and all. So like I'm always making music. It's just am I always dropping it? If that's the thing. I don't be dropping it. But at this point I feel good about music. I'm coming out with that song Gara that I was doing with the ice cream van on the 30th of November on my little brother's birthday. And then I'm hopping off music properly. I feel like I owe it to myself really. Because I feel I'm good at it. I feel like I should be buzzing off music.
Not for nothing, bro. Like I said, I'm not one of them. I know my position in this thing, what I do. But I'm not short. I'll never not be. Well, I am short. I wouldn't be short to give someone their flowers. You know what I mean? Like, I think I wouldn't just. I said this to someone yesterday. I was talking about like podcasting. I was like, if you ever have any criticism of our pod, I go, no, like I like your podcast. I would not sit here, waste my hour watching your podcast if I didn't like it. And like I said, I wouldn't sit here and looking you in your eye in your face and say, if I didn't think you were sick, you're a good artist. You know what I mean? Like, but obviously there are little mitigating circumstances around you that obviously you need to take a little step back, but which we'll get into in a second. But obviously while you've been away, your eyes on the ground, what do you think of the state of the rap music now? Like what are you seeing, like, you know, are you seeing like, okay, yeah, you're this and that, or are you like, nah, these niggas ain't got shit for me?
Nah, like I'm buzzing off it.
Okay.
I'm buzzing off it in a sense where there's a select few where I'm like, oh.
How you feeling?
Like I'm feeling like, right now at the moment I'm feeling Officer with that Living Proof.
Sick. Love that song.
To me that was just someone who,
real rap.
Yeah, someone he's found his pocket, how to express himself.
Yeah.
It's not I'm a gangster this or I'm a gangster that. It's just this is what I'm going through. And just everyone just take it. I feel he's making music for himself, and I can relate to it.
Yeah.
Then I'm feeling some of the other Irish people that are really repping Dublin and all of that. I'm feeling everyone, but at the same time, I feel like Dublin as a whole, myself included, we're all slacking in a sense. I feel we're not really proud to be from Dublin. I feel like we're not putting Dublin on our back. That's
been a conversation, bro, for a long time, yeah. And like I said, when I first came into it, we spoke off camera, like, when I was hearing, like, you know, I don't want rappers, don't be in my DMs crying around like that. I don't want to hear it. I haven't got time, I'm tired. But when I first, I'm tired, bro. I don't have time for beef, bro. But no, when I first came into this thing, though, yeah, I remember hearing, like, drill for the first time, like, Irish drill. And I'm not hearing Dublin accents, bro. You know what I mean? I'm not here. You know what I mean? Like, obviously that's been a conversation. So that's what you still feel like. Obviously we've had Cello come out. He's doing the whole Irish thing. Yeah. Do you still feel like it's still like that?
But you know what it is? Yeah, more time. I was probably one of the first that was screaming this accent thing. I was on it so much.
Yeah.
That rappers probably felt a bit uncomfortable around me, just because they're thinking like, oh, he just probably doesn't buzz off me because I'm doing it. It's gotten to the stage that like, you can't even blame them anymore, if that makes sense. It's one of them, if you see the vision, you see the vision. You know, that sort of way?
Yeah.
I've seen rappers sit down and be like, yeah, well, I'm not from Dublin. I'm not originally from here, so what does it matter if I don't rep here, or like it's a mix, or all these just mad stuff. And then I look at them and I'm like, okay, but like, you have to deep it. Are you being real to yourself? Do you understand? Like, are you, because all these rappers that made us rappers in Dublin feel like we want to rap are rappers that had a story. And every rapper has an area that they rep. Like, we all know Snoop Dogg for LA. For I think it's Inglewood, isn't it?
Yeah.
We know, bro, have you ever been to LA? You probably, no, I've never been to LA, but how do I know Inglewood?
Snoop Dogg.
We've got Skepta, he's repping Tottenham. I've never been to Tottenham, bro. We've got Chipmunk.
Bugsy,
Manchester. We've got 50 Cent, Queens, New York. We've got
Jay-Z, Bronx.
Bronx. Nas.
Brooklyn even.
We've got Nas, Queensbridge, Biggie, Bed-Stuy. Do you get me? So like, everyone's always had their story and the area they came from, and their music was a reflection and an extension of their neighborhood. And the people in their neighborhood, like they championed it. They didn't champion it because he's from our area. They championed all these rappers because they're like, he's our voice, man. He's chatting for us. He's talking for us. Like so in Dublin, we don't have a rapper yet where he's chatting for all the grafters. where like a load of people that feel they're doing this type of thing in Dublin or this type of thing in Dublin can sit down and be like, anytime he opens his mouth to rap on a track, he's speaking for all of us. Like, that's how we all kind of feel. And we don't have that yet. And most of these rappers think they can skip the storyline phase. You can't, because your root is where you're from. So like, if you're not, like even with Wizkid or like with Burna Boy or any of these international artists, it's all about where you're from. Wizkid made a song called Surulere, like that's the name of his neighborhood in Lagos. Like, so if you're coming from Dublin, but you don't sound like you're from Dublin, you have to ask yourself, like, what's been going on? Like, is it a generational problem, or is it a self-reflection thing? It's just a tricky topic, because a lot of black people in the community would kind of see it as like a lot of black people in the community would see me as like, oh, he's not proper black, he's not proper African, because I'm not saying in it, fam. But like, nah, but the thing is, more time, I've always said it to people, I've always said it. A lot of people like, oh, a girl said to me the other day, wallahi bro, a girl said to me the other day, you're whitewashed, and I looked at her, and I was thinking in my head, should you be offended? Is she getting smart with you, bro? You know, that sort of way? And I deeped it, and I said to her, I was like, okay, so what defines a black Irish fella? Like, how do you know someone who's black, grew up in Dublin, is black?
It's black,
How does he act black? Because we're too early to know what an Irish black, we don't have we don't have a culture yet. So, and then I said it to her, I was like, would I be black if I was saying in it, fam? Or if I was a character on Top Boy, would I be black? Would that like kind of, does that check the box? And she was like, nah, and she didn't really have a reply for me. And that's when I knew in my head, I was like, they're just not used to me. And I said it to her, I was like, if you're a black person and you grow up in Dublin, you're meant to sound like me. If you don't sound like me, that means you've sheltered yourself culturally, and you didn't step out into Dublin properly. You know that?
Oh yeah, I echo that, bro. Like me with football and stuff, I was more time I was the only black person on the team. School it was only me in my class, and I always say to them, I think my brothers and sisters, some of them in that group were a lot of black friends and stuff like that. Like obviously my friends are predominantly black now, and the scene I'm in, everyone's predominantly black as well. But it's like, I'm so happy how I grew up. Call me white if you want. I'm so like, even me, like, you know, at home and stuff like that, how I am with like you said, Mundil is this, Mundil is that. I'm like, do you know what I mean? Like, so it's like you hit the nail on the hammer so much, bro, because I'm with you, especially on the storyline. You just can't skip that, bro. You know what I mean? You can't just get straight to the da-da-da-da-da. Let me know. I've said this. People I've watched, I think it was a Smiles episode. People I've watched, why I love him so much. And I feel, do you know what? I don't know, maybe you can agree to disagree with me, but I feel like Smiles does. He'll let you know, when I listen to him, I know that's a McWilliam boy, that's a Tala lad. Cello the same, I know that's a Clondalkin boy. He's kind of like, but you're talking about broader, like, you know, proper putting Dublin on their back. I hear what you're saying, do you know what I mean? Like, and I feel like rappers, do need to do a better job of obviously, you know, letting us know where you're representing and stuff like that. Like you said, the goats, who you would name and stuff like that, through time have let us know, look, this is where we're from, this is what goes on here, you know what I'm trying to say?
You can't be from Dublin and not rep Dublin in your music. Like, you can't be from Dublin.
And the way, well, I love what you said as well, and I've said this, I think I said it to Simba, maybe in private conversation, it's not even about, you're not even talking about repping in a sense of you're riding out over there. It's like, just repping and like, this is my area, this is the circumstances, you know what I mean?
I'm proud
to be from here, real rap, bro. Like I said to you earlier, off cam, it's like, people are missing the trick with real rap, bro.
I'm proud to be from here. Like, if anyone
talk about beef and stabbings and fucking...
If everyone checks their shit, like, when I first came into music, bro, my whole thing was just Afro-Celt. That's all I was saying. Because my dream was like, I wanted there to be like black people rapping in a Dublin accent, but in their own way. Like, not, it doesn't mean you have to sound like a white fella from Dublin. No. Do it your own black way. Just rep the thing.
Do it your own black way.
When I started seeing, but it's facts though. Like, Afro-Celtic. So like, when I seen like Cello and like AC3 and all of them, I was chuffed. Like, that meant I wasn't crazy. It meant I wasn't losing my mind. I remember dropping...
Saw the vision.
Because I remember dropping the track Afro-Celt, like, even back then, and I truly wanted it to, like people to just do that. I was just sick of it. I felt like it was heavy, bro. Like the English stuff was heavy at some point. And when you're surrounded by so much Dublin, it's hard to accept that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of rappers that all their friends would be speaking in English accents to them, and it's fresh. They're like, "Oh, when are we linking later? Oh, that's calm, fam." And you wouldn't be able to say that to me on a regular.
Yeah.
I'd feel like, what does he mean? Like, do you get me? Like, so like, it's just a difference in like surroundings. Where like my surroundings, I wouldn't be able to speak in an English accent even if I wanted to.
Yeah.
People would be looking at me mad funny. You know what I mean? Like,
I feel like though you saying all that now. Obviously now, people are gonna watch this when we're listening to you now. We need to hear like. But you already, like I said, I listened to your tape on the way down and stuff like that. And I'll be listening to it through the days because I knew you were coming on. And I'm just like, this woman. It's aggressive. It's you know, I can really feel this is a black and Irish lad. And you know, and you're telling me your story. That's why I want to listen to him rap. I don't want to hear about swinging and chinging. I don't want to hear about how many bitches you fucked. I don't want to hear all that.
Yeah, I mean,
me personally, do you know what I mean? That's my thing with rap. But again, let me we're gonna pivot again, bro. And obviously you've touched on it a couple of times. And obviously it's a question that you don't need to answer, obviously, if you're not comfortable answering it. But it's like where I always go with you know, motivation and stuff, and obviously your story. There's obviously hardships. We all go through hardships in life, but there's ways that we come out of it. And there's no more greater hardship than loss. And obviously with Naomi was friends with your brother. She come up here, and so obviously was very upset when I prompted her with that question herself. But see, with like, you know, losing your brother, bro, how has that affected like you in a sense of like, obviously you're personal, like you said, you've calmed down now, which I knew found faith and stuff like that, but like, how tough has it been on you, on the family, and how have you like kind of trying to be navigating life lately? You know,
I think heavy in a way. It's been kind of like, it's been heavy. It's been like a kind of like a journey, kind of. So like, because everyone kind of knew how like deep it was for my brother. Like me and my brother would have been close enough.
yeah,
If that made sense. Like we would have been close. So like, for me it was deep because before that I'd never dealt with a loss before. So I'd never, no one around me's ever died before that, if that made sense. So like, for me it was like kind of, it was heavy. It was heavy because I just didn't know how to deal with it, if that made sense. But with time, you kind of like, you start to, you deal with it, you know, that sort of way. And for your family, you know, you kind of have to. But with Faco, like, yeah, it rocked me. But like, it gave me that kind of like compassion just in general. I started getting, after Faco, like, I'm too tired to be, you know what I mean? I don't have issue, like, do you know what I mean? Like, too tired to even be snapping at niggas or nothing, do you know what I mean?
I hear that. I just that, and again, you don't have to answer any of these questions, but obviously, I just want to ask you because it plays obviously on the mental health aspect of things, and you know, obviously, mental health's a big thing these days, and men's mental health. And obviously, I knew your brother. I think the week before he was only on the block with Nathan and Stephen apparently, just chatting to them or whatever. And obviously, you hear like you wouldn't, you know, for a young black man to obviously go out the way he did. It's like when you felt like, how tough was it for you? Could you see signs that he was not okay? Was there? Do you feel like, do you ask yourself sometimes, subconsciously you'll ask yourself some questions like, what could I, that's what I would do anyways if that was me, in my position, any of my boys or family member or whatever. I'd be like, could I have done more to check in? How did I not see that? Is that what you were going through kind of as well? Or were you just, this was just complete like, no, what the fuck?
At the start, I was kind of like, at the start I kind of blamed, I was kind of blaming myself a bit at the start because that's my little brother, that's not my older brother, you know, that sort of way. So at the start it was kind of like, yeah, Sam, you a dummy, like how didn't you see, but I think like as time went on, I started to see that certain things are just meant to happen, if that makes sense. Like in my religion, we believe everything's written. So like, when you truly believe that everything's written, it makes you kind of have a better kind of perspective when it comes to loss. Do you get me? So like, we believe kind of like a human being will never die until every last bit of sustenance is given to him. Meaning that a human being won't die until the last bit of grub or the last bit of money he's meant to make is made. Or like So until that you eat your last bit of jollof rice, like you're not dying. Like until your last bit of sustenance is had, the angel of death won't come. Kind of. That's what we believe in my religion. So like that plus a couple other things, like my little brother's death just forced me to be on my religion more. It's the only way I could grasp it. So if I didn't see it through the eyes of my religion, then like I would have lost my mind.
That's a good point you made there, bro. It's like, obviously I'm not Muslim or anything like that, and obviously I've dabbled in it just to study it, because obviously if you're having these conversations, you want to understand what the gig is. But it's like, what I was going through in my personal life, I'm so happy I found God, because I would have lost my fucking mind as well. Dania, if I was to tell you what I was going through, bro, you'd be like, I remember saying, Smiley knows the gig, my manager, and he's like, I rate you as a man because of that. And so would you. I'll probably touch on it a little bit out of camera, but it's like shit that I went through, bro, and I'm still in the position that I'm in now. And it's so true. What I can resonate. What you're saying there, bro, is so true, because like I said, if I didn't find God, bro, and I'm serious. Remember last week we were out here for Simba's girlfriend's birthday, and people were like, oh, obviously he was drinking, having the crack or whatever, buttoned open, and all, belly out, and all, what I mean, tits out, and all.
I was mad Congolese.
Yeah. I'm a mad Congolese. That's what I'm saying. They can call me white all they want. I'm a fob. But it's like, I turned up to church. Our church is at 10:30 in the morning. I turned up.
Yeah, fair play.
And they clapped for me. I was like, oh, you man think I'm playing with this God stuff? You think I'm putting up Bible quote? I'm reading, I'm taking it in. I listen to Steve Harvey yesterday because I watch a lot of motivational videos. And Steve Harvey says, like, memorize scripture. Where he is in his life today is true. It's like obviously reading scripture but applying it to his life as well. And that's so true what you said, man. That some people don't recover, mate. Some people don't recover, but it's like the pastors have been telling us for years, my mom has been telling me for years, Danga Bible, read the Bible, and pray to God, everything will help, and it has worked, bro. Because like I said, I would have lost my fucking mind if I didn't have that.
I always say to like people close to me that like don't let God have to test, don't let God have to break your heart before you run to him. Or don't let God have to take something away from you for you to come closer to him. Sometimes God loves certain people, and he loves them, and he knows I have a little plan for you. And sometimes he knows that Allah knows that God knows that the only way this person might be able to come to me is if you're broken, or as if your heart's broken, or like you're down. You know, that sort of way. So my thing is always, I always say to my cousin and my people is like, don't let Allah take something from you before, or don't let God like break your heart, or like something like a calamity happens before you run to him. So like that's a major thing with me and the boys, is like we try to stay very connected so that Allah, that does be part of a prayer sometimes, like yo Allah, give me strength, but please do it without the test. Because you have to be careful what you ask for. You could say, yo Allah, give me strength, and he give you a problem. Yeah. Just so you can be stronger. You can be strong. Sometimes you ask for wisdom, Allah give you an issue so that you can solve it.
Figure it out.
You know, that sort of way. So
you're dropping bars.
Sometimes you have to
come back to rap, man. This guy. This fucking
sometimes
guy,
you have
bro.
to be very specific in what you ask for.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of way. So like hardships are meant to like more time. In Islam, we believe that when a bad thing happens, you either have two choices. It's either you see it as a punishment, or you see it as alhamdulillah, thank God. Could have been worse. And that's why they believe a Muslim can never not be satisfied or hate life, because it could be worse. Yeah. You know that it's alhamdulillah, it could be worse.
So. Smilo, my manager. Yeah, I'm shooting, bro. I'm happy to see you, man. I haven't seen you in a while. Look at his face. But yeah, no, you're spitting, bro. Like I said before, what we were touching on earlier, like religion, bro, like it's helped me a lot, man. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like a lot of people need to start, like, instead of like, you know, just reading or whatever, start applying it to their lives, you know. Definitely, but you see, you said he was the motivation behind Gara, the song, yeah. Is that now obviously when you come back and stuff? Is that gonna be like the motivation for the rest of your life? Is like, you know what, you're doing it for broski.
You know what it is? So like after my little brother, I wasn't even really able to rap or nothing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
I was just finding it, because a lot of people were saying to me, "Oh, why don't you make a little tribute thing for your brother, and why don't you rap about your brother?" And I kind of seen it as like to me, like I wouldn't be able to use my little brother's yoke as like some form of little, it was too deep for me. And anytime I tried to even just brush up on it in terms of like expression, it was too painful. It was just too painful. It was too heavy to be trying to buzz off. So music was kind of like at a standstill at some point. So the first track that I remember that like I made, that I knew, oh shit, like, yes, you're still sick, was Gara. And it was So it clicked, bro. Before Gara, after my little brother, I thought like I wasn't like, you know what I mean, like rapping is long, like not rapping is long, but like I found it hard to rap about anything when I just lost my little brother, you know, so away.
Yeah.
But and then even at Gara, I couldn't talk about my brother in that I could only I talked about every other problem I have except for him. But you could tell the vibe of it was basically him, if that makes sense.
No, I look forward to hearing, and obviously, and look forward to your return. And obviously, like I said, with me, like I told you, said even earlier on with season 1 and stuff like that, you needed to kind of like, you know, when I was saying, like, I thought. Sorry, Daniel, 2 seconds. Yeah, I'm recording, mate. Yeah. Yeah, ring it back. That's ourselves. Stop ringing me, fly out. But yeah, like I said to you, season 1 where I needed to learn, you know, and I'm learning along where like artists also, it's not just about like dropping. You have lives and stuff happens, and I've learned that as well. I've been through some mad stuff in this. I've had me like she's ringing me there. I've had messages like, the locks are being changed. We're not coming back here. You know what I mean? Like I've had to be dealing with that. You know what I mean? Like so.
Entertainment's kind of hard.
Yeah, it is, bro. It is, but it's it's all motivation as well, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, look, what I wanted to ask you, I always ask this with artists and stuff like that, yeah. We'll go back to the music a little bit. Top 3. Who's your top 3?
In the country, like?
In the country right now, yeah. It always gets a little buzz going. Yeah, if you have any. Because like I said, Simba said you.
Top 3, man. I see them, do you know what's mad? I'd say like my top 3 are like mad random niggas.
Yeah.
Like I'd be listening to Andre, I'd be listening to like Andre Fazaz.
Yeah.
The odd time I'd listen, like right now I'd be listening to Officer and like A92 and them. And I'd be listening to a few of them Blanche heads as well.
Yeah.
I'd listen to like that song Counter Attack. There's a few of them. Like I'd be someone that I'd buzz off a few of them, but if I was to look at like top 3, I don't think Ireland's the type of top 3 place yet, if that makes sense.
Why'd you say that?
I wouldn't be looking at like rappers as like, oh, there's a top
high
3.
rank, yeah.
Yeah, because everyone's so dispersed. No one's really head to head. Everyone's in their own kind of lane. It's like niggas running different races and everyone asking who came first, if that makes sense. If you were, I wouldn't be able to really give it and if I was to give one, it would have to be, it wouldn't be with rap. It would be like the singers and all, like Andre Fazaz and all them, because I feel they're really doing
I've chopped it up with him as well. I remember we were talking about the networking at these events and stuff like that, and I was talking to him and I asked him like, what's the gig with music? Obviously you said like it's gonna be a stage, like you just get me that, you know, the usual like it's cooking. So I'm gonna try and chop her up with him in season 6. Yo, he's
like,
he's amazing.
Has a song called
talented kid, bro.
Django Lova.
Yeah, he's a talented kid, man.
I remember hearing it. I'm just thinking to myself, whoa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he'd be someone that I'd kind of like be watching out for in a way. But a few of them are sick. A few Irish rappers are actually sick. But like, I think that there's a kid from the north side called Mams. Sick. Like, no one's heard of him yet, I'd say, but he's gonna be, for his age, he's like 16, and the way he's rapping, I'm like, whoa. He'd be sick, but like I wouldn't really have a top 3. I won't lie. Okay,
Grant, that's no problem. I'm gonna ask you a couple more questions, and then I have a question for me. I want to ask you. Obviously, Gara's dropping on the 30th. We look forward to that. So, what is like for Dania for the rest of the year 2023? What's the plans? Obviously, are we to come back see a couple of singles? Are we gonna see collabs? What's the gig with you?
I'm trying to get into music heavy.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to at the same time find myself, if that makes sense. So like, I'm just on some little. I want to be comfortable. Comfortable musically, in a sense where like I'm comfortable in my own skin, meaning that like I don't want to be making music like anymore. That's kind of like I'm trying to be some as opposed to expressing myself.
Okay.
So like I feel like we're always so stuck on what we feel people should see us as, or what we think we want them. But I'm just Sam, bro. Do you know what I mean? So like I'm trying to be so comfortable in my music that it's a true reflection of who I am. Not that it isn't already, but at certain stages, I just wanted to be a gangster. Like, that's why I was always trying to rap. Like, and all my mates were always like, oh, Sam, rap like this, rap. Do you get me? So now I'm just rapping the way, like, about what I'd rap about.
I can relate to you with that. It's like me. I came in obviously, yeah, you want to make some of this. Like, you want to, you want this to be full time. You want to be not waking up and getting on the Lewis going to work. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sick of that bollocks, yeah. But it's like, I was coming in, I was trying to be like a certain way. One minute I'm trying to be funny, one minute I'm trying to be serious. I'm just trying to be me, bro. You know what I mean? You'll probably get an episode where it's mad serious, but you're gonna get funny. You're gonna get a balance of it. You know what I mean? Like, so. But once, like I said to you earlier, I was like, I go home. I know I can look myself in the mirror. I didn't come up here and slag nobody. And like I always say before, if I critique you as an artist, or as a whatever, if I'm not making it personal, I don't want to be you in my DMs or rolling up. I'm trying to go to be Maz guy for you, yeah? You know what I mean? If I'm critiquing you, I'm critiquing your art in the sense of like, say someone asks me, what do you think of that? Probably be like, it's a bit, you know what I mean? Like, but if I'm not saying, this fella's shit, get him off the mic, you know what I mean? I wouldn't do that. Season 1 probably would have done that. Do you know what I mean? Like, but nah, I'm not, it's not like I'm just being myself, bro. I'm just trying to entertain, be fun, and inspire, bro. And like the stories that you were saying, how you're getting over tragedy, how obviously what you've been going through musically and growing up and stuff, that's the story I'm trying to get, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you watch, you don't. Do you know what I mean? Like, so anything else you need to plug? Anything you need to plug before?
I'm dropping a little project as well. Called Brick by Brick.
Okay. That's gonna be a mixtape?
Yeah, I'm just calling it a project, really.
Okay, yeah.
I don't even have a label for it, but I'm just calling it a project. And then more time, Gara is on the 30th of November. Brick by Brick's gonna be after it. I just want them to get cozy for me for the winter. You know what I mean? They should all go get their gooses and shit. It's gonna be cold like this.
Yeah.
That sort of way.
Appreciate that. And then obviously our end, bro, it's like one question only. I've been asking you questions for the past hour. So you get to ask me a question and I have to answer it. So think wisely, bro. Well, if you ask a question before, you'll have to give you a different question.
A question from me to you, yeah?
Yeah.
Question from me to you, Dongo. Or do you know what? Before I even ask you a question, there was a particular day, you put up on your story on Instagram.
Yeah.
You're like, I love this game, man. But the way you done it, you done it in a way that's a meme. You know, so to the point I screen recorded it, and I kept it just in case I ever want to use it,
Yeah.
And I actually thought it was just funny. You got into the mirror and you're into the camera and you're like, and you were like this, man. Like,
was it in relation to girls or what?
It was in relation to like.
Yeah.
And you were like this. You were like,
yeah.
Love this game.
Yeah, bro. I do. I probably.
Looking at you, yeah.
The last couple of times,
man.
The last episode, I was with Simba and David in the studio, and then before that was me and David and someone else probably, and it's just like. You'll probably see it here after the after podcast. Obviously, you can say what you want. You know what I mean? Without trying to cancel, you can say what you want. And it's just obviously but you're giving each other ideas. You're having good conversations, progressive conversations, and it's like it's fucking brilliant, bro. Do you know what I mean? I love it. Yeah. Well, go on. Your question.
So my question is more time as a podcaster in Dublin, as someone who's like part of like the whole like. You're part of a community now, the black community of people in the entertainment game. What do you see long term as being your contribution to this thing? To the point when you're sitting down and you're like 50, 60, and you have your grandkids running around. What do you want your grandkids to be able to hear from people and be like, this is what your granddad could eat? Yeah.
I was myself, bro.
100.
Like I look at obviously social media now, you have someone Arsenal fan, right? So Arsenal fan TV, the rise of that. You see people rising because they're being controversial, but they're acting on camera. You see, obviously, look, the kid Speed, hey, I clap for you. You're amazing at what you do. But you have to kind of like these days going viral, act like a fucking tick, screaming, shouting, do mad stuff to go viral. I got into this thing, that story that I told, that stuck it in was gone, blah, blah, blah. It's not funny now, but that was a real story, bro, and I never knew that.
Is that your buzz? Is that how
No, it's
I never asked. No, honestly, sorry to like.
No. Go ahead.
Well, is that your buzz?
No, it's not me buzz. It's not I'm laying down every week or whatever. There was a particular time in my life that happened, and I told on a story, 100. And it made me viral and it got me here. But that was a real story, and I remember one of my teammates from Cherry Orchard. I remember when everything was going, like all these meme pages was everywhere, do you know what I mean? He rang me and goes, I remember you telling me that story. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's just like, I came into this thing and I'm being myself. Yeah, sometimes it might take me slower to get where the speeds and all that, but like I told you, what's very important to me is being able to look myself in the mirror. Do Do you know what I mean? Being able to look at my family members in the mirror and they know that I'm not up here capping. Sometimes I remember one of my brothers came up here on a podcast before. I was telling a story about something. Went back to Brooklyn. He was getting stick off the boys because he was telling fibs. Do you know what I mean? Like,
is he?
yeah, he was telling fibs. A story when they went to holiday. Like, no, that didn't happen. Do you know what I mean? Like, so now the legacy I want to leave, bro. That I was unapologetically me, bro. And that's what I want to inspire people to be. Like you said earlier, people having their own identity, be proud of where they're from, and you know, and not giving up, man. You know, because obviously, like I said, I started off playing football, you know, and I lost that. And that's, I said this the next last night on the phone. If God said right now, I could heal your knee and you can or you could be a footballer, even play Leinster Senior League, play for Crumlin or Bluebell, flat out where I was, I'd go back. Not a bother to me, do you know what I mean? Like, so.
Was your love for football
found this,
deep? Yeah?
That deep, bro. But obviously, I found this and obviously it's given me another purpose. And it's like, I always say this, I think God gave me another mission because obviously I'm a good talker and the kids are always telling me that I'm inspiring them and stuff like that. And I feel like, yeah, this is my calling here, bro.
Do you feel like you could be one of them individuals that is there for people who don't like actualize their first dreams?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you understand?
For sure,
because
yeah.
People don't talk about it, but there's a group of individuals like black men that didn't actualize their dreams to be ballers. And then after that, they're stuck with nothing.
Yeah.
And then they eventually get involved in illegal shit because they're like imagine wanting to be a baller and then you don't become a baller and then you're watching niggas and because everyone who wants to be a baller, eventually even if they don't play it, they're still into it. They watch it. Yeah. So they have to watch little kids and all making bags and all every week. So like I feel like that's something that would fuck with someone psychologically. So like, or do you feel like you're one of them people that
100%,
that's
bro.
meant to be an example?
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Yeah, you can pivot.
Like even if you don't actualize a dream that you had from a kid, you could still do something great that you love.
Yeah, 100% you can pivot, bro. And that's what I'm saying. I that's why I do what I do, bro. It's obviously, yeah. Look, I know. Because
I was asking about you the other day. The niggas up in Brooks, you were telling me that you were a baller. Because I thought you were just chatting like, you know, everyone always says like, oh,
come here.
He's not on my knee.
Yeah. There's a 6-minute clip of me on YouTube. I'll send it to you later. You'll see. I'm on YouTube. You'll see.
But they were telling me and they were like, nah, Goody was a baller. I was like, fair play.
That was the past time. I let Sean Dongo can have his time over here. He makes it for the family. But now look, I appreciate you coming up, bro, and we've had a cool conversation. Oh, 100%, bro. I was
on you for this.
Yeah, you were. I didn't want to say it, but you were proper on me every time on the block, stopping me.
Yeah, I'd be chilling, and the boys would be like, oh, there's Goody, bro. I'm like, yeah, 2 seconds, boys. Like, yo, Goody, what's up, bro? What's story with that? I'd be like, yo, Goody, what's story with that? What's story with the podcast? Every time I seen you, I used to make a mission like, 1 second, boys. What's story, bro? Yeah. I actually was a fan, man. I wanted to be on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because I feel people don't know my personality, man, I felt like it'd be good to just actually, for once, have a chat with someone on.
Yeah. Any listening parties around like that, bro? There's the manager there. Hire me, yeah?
I got you.
Like, share, subscribe. Love. Nice one, bro.